Hello everyone, this is Ninja Guy _12 here, bringing you a match in the Prototype Gundam. I haven't used this suit in a long ass time, and for the first time bringing it out on this account, at least to my knowledge, I did pretty well with it actually. Better than I expected, I guess I should say. Before we continue, if you guys want to make any GB02 request videos this month, you could obviously ask me on my Discord server. Link to that's in the description. Obviously, you get 2 free requests. Obviously, you just gotta be a part of my Discord server. So, the Prototype Gundam here, which I didn't really talk about the colors because it's just the standard Prototype Gundam colors that come with the suit, except I removed all the weathering, the specular, and the highlight to make this kind of cleaner look to the Prototype Gundam, so there you go. So the Prototype Gundam is a raid. It's a 350 raid at level 1. It goes up to level 4, I think, at 500, which, you kind of don't want to do that at, like, higher costs, because although this thing is quite good in a lot of ways, it doesn't mean that it is the best option to take into the high cost. I mean, in 350 it's okay, but like once you get to 400 and up, this thing kinda just not really that great, because like unlike some of the other suits that have higher levels at that cost, like the the level 3 Doug Schneid, the level 2 Dahl High Speed, like those have at least like a heavy stagger or like an instant knockdown type of weapon. But this thing, like, you actually have to hit people with the bazooka or get enough shots with the prototype beam rifle if you're crazy enough to do that, and then get the downswing off. So honestly, this thing could use a buff or 2 at least higher cost at like 400. Oh, maybe not 400, but like for sure 450, 500, because this thing does suffer at higher costs, especially once you get to like 450 and 500, where there's just some very obviously better raids at those costs that you could choose from than this. So I hope they'll consider buffing the higher levels of those, like make the level 3 and 4 Prototype Gundam have like a dodge roll, or like 2 dodge rolls, or just higher level maneuver armor so that it doesn't get staggered easily. That would help this thing a lot, for sure. So let's talk about the weapons real quick, as you know, I'm destroying this Easy 8 weapons rack here. So in terms of weapons, you either have this Hyper Bazooka, which is standard for a lot of the kind of Gundams, I guess, like the Grandpa Gundam, the G3, even though that one has double bazookas, or Hyper Bazookas, and some other gyms and stuff, like the Gym Command, the Gym Command Face Type, whatnot. So it's a pretty common bazooka, but it does work very well. Nothing wrong with it. Also, this is the better option of the two between this one and the fucking Prototype Gundam beam rifle, which I have used like once and just never bothered using again, because it is just not really that viable of a weapon. I mean, considering the fact that this thing relies on heavy stagger, or not heavy stagger, but like stagger to actually do some of the crazy melee damage this thing does, you kinda have to, you know, you kinda have to have a stagger. The beam rifle, I think, what, takes 2 or 3 shots to stagger someone, if not 3, because sometimes 2 isn't enough. So like, it's better just to take something that works than something that doesn't. But in terms of the other weapons it has 2 melee options, which the only thing I'm gonna bitch here is the fact that it doesn't, or like the Grandpa Gundam or even the G3 even can't equip the freaking beam javelin, which is what I'm using in this video, or the double beam sabers. For me, it just doesn't make sense because even though they're technically in the same line, and at least for the Grandpa Gundam, I don't know about the G3, but at least for the Grandpa, you did see it have double beam sabers and use the javelin. It makes no sense that out of the three, the Prototype Gundam, the Grandpa Gundam, and the G3 Gundam, this one is the only one to equip the double beam sabers and the javelin. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just being crazy or not, but I feel like the other two should be able to equip the weapons this thing has. And speaking of which, of course, you have the double beam sabers as the optional weapon. But I opt for the javelin because the javelin's a lot more fun. It's a lot more unique of a weapon, in my opinion, than double beam sabers. And also, I feel like the downswing damage is a lot more than the double beam sabers, but the double beam sabers is a lot easier to use due to the fact that, like, you know, you don't have to be super precise with the double beam sabers. You can kind of just rough guess things. Whereas with this, you have to basically kind of aim with your javelin in order to hit people because, man, it could be quite difficult to do that sometimes. And you also have a longer reach, so sometimes you could be right up to someone, even though if you would have a beam saber, you would actually, you know, get the kill or whatnot. That still isn't enough to, like, do it with the beam javelin. So, like, obviously, let's say if someone's right in front of you, like, right in front of you, and if you have the beam saber, you'll be able to hit them. But if you have the javelin, it won't register because the javelin has a much longer range than the beam sabers do. So, of course, if someone's right up on you, the javelin's kind of pointless. So, keep that in mind when you're using the javelin. And then the only other weapon this thing has is the pair of head-mounted Fulkins, which are quite, decent. Gives you something else to use when you're waiting for your bazooka to reload or your beam rifle to cool down. So, whether I think this is a good raid still, yeah, for sure. At 350, go ahead and use it. 400, I'd say kinda go for it, but I don't know. I mean, it's not the best option in the world for a, you know, suit at that cost for a raid at 400 and 450, or like 450 and 500. So maybe choose something else, but this thing is still quite fun. So don't get me wrong about that one. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and commentary, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.